ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಏನು ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಈ ದಿವಸ ನಾವು ಮೂತ್ರಕೋಶದ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದರ ಕೂಡ ಬಹುಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮೂತ್ರಕೋಶದ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಯನಪೋಯ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮತ್ತು ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯ ಮೂತ್ರಕೋಶ ಮೂತ್ರಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ವಿಭಾಗದ ಯೂರಾಲಜಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಮತ್ತು HOD ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮುಜೀಬ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್ ಅವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮುಜೀಬ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಎಸ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮುಜೀಬ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್ ಅವರು ಯೂರೋ ಆಂಕಾಲಜಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ನ ವಿಶೇಷ ತಜ್ಞರು ಕೂಡ ಹೌದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಂಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಗಳು ಕಾಣಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೇನು ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಏನು ಕಾರಣ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರವಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾಗರಿಕರು ಅಥವಾ ಜನರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಸಡ್ಡೆ ವಹಿಸುವಂಥ ವಿಚಾರ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಂದಂತಾಗ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಕಾಳಜಿ ಕೂಡ ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಅವರು ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಸ್, ನಾನು ಮೊದಲಾಗಿ ಮೂತ್ರಕೋಶ ಎಂದರೇನು, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಆರಂಭಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಸ್, ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೂತ್ರಕೋಶ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಅದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿವರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ?
Normally there is a urology. That means the urologist, that the surgeons who does the procedures on the kidney, which produces the urine.
Okay.
Then there are two tubes that brings the urine from the kidney down into the bladder, and from there the urine goes out.
Okay.
So in this bladder, there is a storage of urine for normally for 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
So because the urine stays there, and whatever is that, suppose you eat something that goes through our stomach, that will be digested, and whatever is going, that solid content usually goes through the feces, and the water content, that the liquid part of it comes out through the urine. So whatever so many things we eat daily in our, maybe sometimes the contaminants in the food or some of the carcinogens that will predispose to the cancers, those kind of things will come and store in the bladder. Okay. So the bladder is always prone for cancerous change, that is a malignant change. So bladder is a hollow viscous organ, that is mutrakosha, that is there is just in front of our anal canal, the rectum, and that is situated in the lower abdomen. It stores from the kidney through the ureters, the urine comes, it stores there and stays for some time. Then whenever we have facility, sometimes whenever we go to the toilet, we have the conditions are favorable, we go to the toilet, empty it, and it fully empties. Okay. Then again it continuously comes, and the God has given us that is because it stores in the urine, we can do our daily activities, and as and when required in 2 to 3 hours we can go to the toilet. Normally that is the system, how it works. And because this content stays in the bladder for some time, is all the contaminants whatever we eat, that will stay there, and it can predispose to cancers of the bladder.
ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮೂತ್ರಕೋಶದ್ದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ, ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಆ ಮೂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಅಂಗದ್ದು. ಎಸ್, ನಾವೀಗ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ನ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುವಾಗ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಎಸ್, ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೂತ್ರಕೋಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅದರ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳೇನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು?
In Karnataka also, like I'm working in Yanapoya Hospital for the last 12 years. I must have operated, even today I'm going to operate one cancer. So this is not very uncommon in Karnataka. Mainly we see in the North Karnataka, where they have lots of cigarettes and BDs they smoke, plus the betel nut, the chewing, this arak nut, along with that the tobacco, everything together they chew, and that again goes through the stomach and goes through the kidney, and again it stays in it. So the symptom normally they presents with sometimes they'll initial stages they'll say that every now and then I have to go to the toilet, I'll go to the toilet, come back, then again I feel like lots of urine frequencies, lots of urine is there, I feel like going to the toilet, then after passing also immediately. Second thing, that is some blood will be there, sometimes the fresh blood will go, fresh red blood will go. For some people, as the disease, like initially there will be like some frequency, urgency, like incomplete sense of voiding, and as the days go, and when the treatment is not taken, and when the disease goes up, the patient will have bleeding, will start bleeding, because it's a tumor. It is like it's rapidly growing. It's not like our skin. Then when it's in it starts. These are all the warning signs. Then after some time, patient will have acute retention of the urine. Then when it spreads to the other areas of the body, suppose the bone it is gone, there will be a bone pain will be there. Suppose there is a liver is in a liver failure, and these are all like lungs. It goes like breathing difficulty. These are all the end stage of the disease. These are all the symptoms normally of the bladder cancer.
Yeah, if such patients comes to your hospital, how you
Yeah,
diagnose them?
normally when they come, if the symptom is there, we'll ask them to simple urine test.
okay.
So there will be blood in the urine. Otherwise, what you ask them for an ultrasound of the abdomen. That is called the second stethoscope. Earlier we used to have a stethoscope and put the doctor everywhere. Now this is called the second stethoscope, ultrasound. All the patients who comes here, ultrasound, you just keep it, you can see the tumor there. And after something is suspicious, then you can go for the CT scan. Still, this bladder has got 4 layers. Like inside there is a covering that prevents the urine back leak into the areas. It is a sealed content, like our oral cavity. There is a lining is there. That's a little thick. God has given us a thick 7 layer. This is 1 or 2 layers. If it is there is a 7 layer thick, and it's like when it's collapsed, it will be like this. As the urine comes, it will be even with the maximum stretch also, it won't allow anything to leak. And it has again it's like a football bladder. Again it's covered. Again it's covered, and outside is there. So that 4 layers. So initially, if it's in the starting phase, inside the lining of the bladder, if it's there, it's good result you will get, and the treatment, whatever you give it to the patient, they'll be curative. Patient will have a complete cure of the disease. But as it goes down, like it's like a small plant with the root. When the root is going into the 2nd, 3rd, 4th layer, then the disease, there are blood vessels flowing, the blood. It's like a stream of water goes through that. It will take all the waste and go, and it will deposit somewhere else. Likewise, in the bladder, the blood is going through the 2nd layer of the bladder. So once the root goes and the tumor grows there, it will enter into the bloodstream. It will go flow everywhere, and especially when areas there is suppose the blood goes like that and comes back, a bend is there. You can see that water also, when a bend comes, you can see that that stream goes like this, and that cell settle, the tumor cells will settle in different areas of the body. This is how the cancer spreads. So to conclude, they'll have the diagnosis is ultrasound you do, urine first, ultrasound. Then if it's required a CT scan and kidney functions and all you can see, and the next in the MRI if it's required. And there are now newer tests like FDG PET scan and all is there, where you can find out even a small focus anywhere in the body. So these are all the tests. Depending on the severity of the disease, you have to grade. We should not unnecessarily put the patient, even the early lesion, you don't put an FDG PET and all. So if there is a late lesion, the urologist will know after seeing some quite a few, say 50, 100 cases, you will know like what all tests you need. And depending on that, without troubling the patient, seeing their financial status and the cost of because these are all very costly investigation, like 22,000 is there for an FDG PET. If it's required, there are tests is available in Mangalore itself. It was not there earlier. They had to go to some John Hopkins in US and those kind of, now everything is there in Kannada.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯಗಳು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಬಂದಿದೆ.
Here in Mangalore is
ಎಸ್, ಈಗ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುವಾಗ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಆಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ?
Early treatment, before deciding on the treatment, we'll be seeing what is the stage of the disease and what exactly is the problem with it. So you just put a scope inside under anesthesia or under local, take a small piece of it, send it to the histopathologist. They'll tell you this is a cancer, and sometimes they'll say this is not a cancer, this is just a benign. Then patient is happy, doctors
when
are
it
also
connotes
happy.
as a cancer particularly?
When the cancer comes, it will have some changes. Like normally the skin and all has got, suppose it grows, you have a cut here, it will grow, it will stop there. So God has given us something to grow, and at that some time, once it's there, suppose you have a cut here, after some time it will grow, it will stop at that. So there is a signal that stops. Suppose that signal, there is a balance between the growth and the stoppage of the growth. There is a balance in body. Everything is balanced. So when that balance is gone, like it is a destabilized, cancer comes.
Okay,
So this is a balance between the growth as well as the destruction. So in human body, as the person grows also, there is a clear cut balance between the signals being given to the cells, like you grow this much, stop. So there is a damage, go there. There are some areas from the blood and other things there that is like an army. It goes there, repairs there, then comes back.
it comes back.
So these are all the treatment. This also called repercussions, or this has got implications in the treatment of the disease as well.
ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು,
Yeah.
ಆ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಮುನ್ನೆಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯ ವಹಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು?
Yeah. Treatment now available is, if it's the early phase, you can put an endoscope, you can just scoop it out. Including the root, you can, and send it for the biopsy. They'll tell you that this is a grade of the tumor, this is a low grade, okay, high grade, those kind of things, and completely you can remove it. And there are some drugs you can put it inside, like a BCG, intravesical BCG, intravesical chemotherapy, intravesical, so many other things, so that, because the bladder is an important organ for the patient, because that should not without bladder, that urine will have to keep either in a bag, or else you will have to construct a new bladder. That's called a new bladder from the intestine.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಈಗ ಮೂತ್ರ ವಿಸರ್ಜನೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಆವಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದು ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಬೇಕಂತ.
Yeah, no, because this is a protocol called bladder preservation surgery. In this, patients will be very happy because their bladder is still there. Because once you remove the bladder, it's very difficult to manage for the patient. It's not that easy, because they have to sleep, they have to carry a bag here, or sometimes they'll have to construct a bag like a artificially reconstructed neo bladder. That all, whatever what we have to understand, what God has given, we can't reconstruct.
Yes.
So in the sense, like whatever he has made, with that pressure, you go to the toilet, empty your bladder with that pressure, that all we can't generate. So this treatment facilities what is available now is, you can just go put a scope, you can scoop it out early stage, and ask the patient to come every 3 months or 6 months. Again with the ultrasound and urine cytology, there is a test called urine, you can see a recurrence, you can see. Suppose there is a tumor that has got advanced in the second layer or into the third layer of the bladder, as I described, then you can remove the whole bladder and take some 40-50 centimeters of the intestine and construct a balloon and reconnect it. It will have lots of problems, like patient will have to put a catheter, but still there are youngsters who are very happy, they are able to manage it. But in old age, they can't put the catheter in between. There are so many. So in those kind of patients, and especially when the kidney function is not good, and we'll make a small hole here, connect the urine and a bag. And again, that has got sometimes the leak, but there are recent innovations have come, and we have good sophisticated external appliances for collection of the urine.
Yes. ನಾವು ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೆ, ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ನಾವು ಏನು ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಅದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಅವರು ನಾರ್ಮಲಿಯಾಗಿ ಓಡಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ?
He can work. Normally they can. There are so many doctors even who are even still working. They can work, but the only thing is that they have to change their, if they have a cigarette smoking is there, they have to stop it.
Okay.
Main problem is the cigarette smoking. Maybe some 70% of the cases are due to the cigarettes, especially the BD. So that they have to stop. And the drugs, some of the drugs, hair dye, and sometimes basically this hair dyes are very common. And the tar industry people, paint industry, these are all, because these are all will destabilize the normal balance in the genetic level. In our genes there are some controlling areas. So one will be giving growth signal, and the other will be suppressing. So these are all the genetic control. When you smoke the cigarettes or the coal tar, the coal or tar industry, paint industry, these are all highly toxic things are there. You inhale it or ingest it, then it will go through the blood, it will reach and it will damage. This all. So they have to have strict discipline as far as the food is concerned. If the profession is, suppose they're in the paint industry, they have to change that, and the tar industry, they let them change. Hair dyes, if you are using, they stop using it. BD cigarettes, you stop it. those kind of things.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೈದ್ಯರು ಭಾರಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳುವಂಥ ವಿಚಾರ ಧೂಮಪಾನದ ವಿಚಾರ. ಧೂಮಪಾನ, ಬಿಡಿ, ಸಿಗರೇಟ್ ಸೇದುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ಅವ್ರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥ ಕೆಲವು ಏನು ಉದ್ದಿಮೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ, ಅದು ಪೇಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಟಾರ್, ಕಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಲು, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅದು ತುಂಬ ಏನು ಮಲಿನ ಅಥವಾ ಕಲ್ಮಶವಾದ ಧೂಳುಗಳು, ಧೂಳು ಕಣಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ 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 ಸೊ ಇಂಥ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಮುನ್ನೆಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ವಹಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಂತ ವೈದ್ಯರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಲಹೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಸ್, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್, ಎಸ್, ಈಗ ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಂತ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅದನ್ನು ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಪರಿಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು?
Prostate. The prostate, bladder, I told, it can come in the males as well as females. Prostate is only there for the males.
Yes.
It's not there for the female.
Yes.
And it's a small, like lemon type. One small gland is there, walnut shaped. Normally the weight of it is 17 to 22 gram. That is there just below the bladder. What it does is, it's a sex accessory glands. The semen that it adds maybe some 0.5 ml to the overall quantity of the semen, but it has got lots of physiological function like liquefaction of the semen, and there are so many small growth factors, you know. And when you grow, you know, initially it will be very small, like it is a rudimentary small thing just below the bladder, and the urine passage, that the urethra goes through the middle of it. It's like a gland. Through the middle of it, the urine passage, it goes through that. So this is a very small gland, and it has got some sex accessory gland, that is the physiological function that it performs.
ಈಗ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಯಾವ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಏನಾದರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಗೋಚರಿಸುತ್ತಾ?
Prostate, it can grow just like 70 to more than that, 80 to 90% of the time it just grows. I told you, like in the middle of it, the urine passes. So it has got basically 3 zones. If you cut an apple and just cut open the apple, you can see that inside one, just outside one. Likewise, this prostate also, the cancer area normally comes from the outer zone of it. And the urine problem, most of the people you must have seen, like after 60, 70 and all, they'll go to the hospital, they'll have a catheter outside. They'll be, these are all the normal things. There is 80 to 90% of the time that central, that there is a zone called transitional zone, that through the on either side of the urethra, that becomes big and just presses the passage. So that is not of a, it just grows and is some symptom with the urinary void. But the cancer comes from the outer zone, and patient will be asymptomatic for a long time. We will not know that. And as the
ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಗೋಚರಿಸುವುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ.
This normal prostate, when it grows, or first itself patient will come, no, I am not able to pass the urine, I have lots of problems, every now and then I have to go, and my stream is very poor, I am not able, incomplete, not happy with the stream. But for the cancer it comes, you might have a frequency, like you just go, come back. It may not be that urine he is able to pass. And if you do a scan also, normally they'll say that it's normal, nothing is seen, no residual urine in the bladder. But as the days pass, depending on the grade of the disease, the severity of the, again you can subclassify into the grade, low grade, intermediate grade, and high grade. Depending on that, it'll start growing very fast. So depending on that, you can get the more and more.
ಈಗ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಉಂಟಾಗುವಾಗ ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ?
The same way, sometimes for some people it is genetic. In the family you can see my father has, my brother has, then I'll have a early chance of getting it. Normally it's a disease, prostate cancer is the disease of old age. But suppose my family history is there, I can get in. So in those kind of situations I should check there is a blood test called serum PSA, prostate specific antigen. That is there, is available everywhere, even the small labs, clinics and labs. It is very, very easy. With that you can do a screening test with the PSA. That will tell. Normally in Indian subcontinent, what we have kept as a value is 0 to 4 nanogram per ml. If it is more than that, you have to be careful. If it's up to 10, that is called the gray zone PSA. But if you test it, you will have the cancer. So there are so many parameters upon which the urologist will decide, no, this is a low grade tumor, this is not going to harm the person, let him live with it. There are so many protocols like those kind of patients. We'll ask them every 6 months you come to the clinic, we'll check a PSA, we'll do a digital rectal, one finger you put in the rectum, then you see that whether there is any problem is there. So those kind of tests the clinician, because once you are into this field for some time, you know, yeah, this is going to be an aggressive tumor, he needs a treatment. This is okay, low grade, okay, leave.
ಈಗ ಸಿವಿಯರ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯೂಮರ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿರುತ್ತದಾ?
Yeah, sometimes this as I said, the aggressive tumors, it may not be the size. Size may be small, it's like an atom bomb. It will whatever is, it will grow very fast into some other area. So there's the grade, that is called the Gleason's grade. One grade is devised that depending on the, once you get the specimen for biopsy, we'll take a needle like a trocar biopsy we'll do. We'll send it to the pathologist. They'll tell you that this is the grade of the tumor. So depending on that grade, the aggressiveness of the disease increases, and based on that we have to take a call.
ಎಸ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಈಗ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ
I told you, that this prostate cancer is only for the men. So that means male hormone is the reason. So it's called the testosterone. It is like that is the fuel for this cancer too. So what usually we do is, early phase if it comes, you remove it. Suppose you have a cancer here or some, what you do, you cut it and remove. So there is, suppose a fruit is there, or apple, you want to eat it or you want it to know what is the damage, you just cut it. It might not another 2-3 days again it might. Likewise, if it is an early disease, it's like it's more like a small lemon
bag.
Lemon that inside there is cancer, means there is ಹಾಳಾಗಿದೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳಗೆ ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾಲಿ ಹಾಳಾಗಿದೆ. That area we can't remove alone. What you do with the whole thing, you remove it. Then that's the early stage. But suppose if it has gone outside the body, that shows that the hormone, it's the fuel is male hormone. So you remove that all the hormones from the body. Either because 95% of our male hormone is coming from the testis, that is in the scrotum. So either, and remaining 5% is coming from the adrenal gland. So what you do is, you remove that both the testicles. But the testosterone has got lots of actions in the body. Like suppose you get up in the morning, you feel, I am feeling fresh, I am strong. That is because of our testosterone. So when you remove it, patient will become little dull. Blood, that is our muscles, our bone, everything is from that testis. So but here you are giving for the person for a life has to go on.
ಈಗ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೆಗೆದರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವನ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ?
There is no problem with that, because we won't remove that. So only that big a small incision, take out that and remove. That's called surgical castration. There are medical
ಒಂದು ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗಿರುವ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗಿತಾರೆ.
No, the test is both, because the testosterone we have to remove. So both the testis will remove. But after removal the testis, sometimes our sexual activity, our well-being, that feeling, everything will come down. So there are some injections also for that, like leuprolide, that will stop or it will reduce the testosterone in the body. So that also is called a medical castration. And now so many because in the West, it's very common. In Europe as well as in USA, it's very common. 1 out of 4 has got a histologically proven.
What is the reason?
Basically it's in the African Americans, where they have you must have seen Olympics and all. They run faster than us. They have more of testosterone. So especially that Caribbean islands, those kind of people. So in the West, in African Americans, Africans, that black Americans, they have more of prostate cancers.
Okay,
And Europe also, because it is a hereditary wise, whoever has come to the Indian subcontinent and this area, they don't have much of a prostate cancer.
okay.
Those people who have gone into the European areas as well as who are settled in Africa and America and migrated from the Africa, those people have more of testosterone. As I said, this is the fuel for the prostate to grow.
Okay, okay.
So that is the main reason why they have more. So lots of research is being done, and lots of money is being siphoned into research for prostate cancer.
ಯಾ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಆಯಿತು, ಈಗ ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಮುನ್ನೆಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ವಹಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು? ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಜೀವನದ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ.
I remember in Yenapa Medical College we have the most recent treatment for the prostate cancer, especially when it's localized. We have a robotic prostate. See the robotic advantage. Last time also, because last 13 years when I was operating, 2016 onwards we have we have that is one of the best new technique how we can remove the full prostate. Patient can go on the next day to the home. Unlike the patients whom I have operated in Mangalore in 2008, I still remember keeping them for 7 to 10 days in the hospital. And with a catheter, they'll be there, some bleeding will be coming, and so many issues. But as the technology and the innovations came, and the robotic technology that came into the surgical field, last 2 weeks back when I operated, morning I did the surgery around 11 o'clock finish. When I went in the evening to he was able to stand. The next day I told you go home. You can go home. So that is the technology has come.
ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ದಿವಸ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
And they are more comfortable also, in the sense after you remove your prostate, the control, you go to the toilet, you empty your you unzip, you go to the toilet and pass. That time there is a control area. Once you remove the prostate, that controlling becomes a little difficult. Sometimes they'll pass the urine for maybe some 3 months and all. But what we are aiming at is a cancer control. The cancer has to go out of the body. But this is functionally there will be some problem, like urine leak. That also is less with the robotic prostatectomy.
ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಾದರೂ ಈಗ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಏಜಿನವರಿಗೆ, ಇಂಥ ಏಜ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ನವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೋದು ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ಉಂಟಾ?
Old age normally is for the old age, except for the suppose your family is hereditary in the early phase. And even now the treatment is coming for even for the hereditary. This West has introduced the medication that is slowly coming to our India also.
ಓಕೆ. ಎಸ್ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಭಾರಿ ಮಹತ್ವದ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಜನರು ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂಥರ ಜಾಗೃತಿ ಮೂತ್ರಕೋಶದ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮುಜೀಬ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್ ಅವರು ತುಂಬ ವಿವರವಾಗಿ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸಮಸ್ತ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಸಮರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ಎನ್ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸಮಾಪನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.